Thank you for watching Meatsauce and Monty. I'm Matt Montgomery. He's Paul Meatsauce Lambert. We've returned. We took a little time off, but we're back.
I'm glad to be back. This is wonderful.
Do you notice anything different? Maybe what's around
Minus that
us?
we're at a casino, no.
Yeah, the casino.
Yeah, the monitor down
Mystic
there
Lake.
that's added 3,500 pounds to me, that back there, the whole thing's sweet.
Do you miss the CW basement?
Yeah, I mean, it had its own charm, but at least I can see everything out here and there's more people watching, so this all works out perfectly.
Everything else is the same. Content the same, people the same,
I prepped
location.
nothing, yeah. I've done no work, yeah. I just showed up.
It's the exact same.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing, yeah.
I love
of course,
it.
Yeah.
Our show, 90% Vikings, a little bit of drinking game. Does that work for you?
Yeah, my sources say they play tomorrow night, so yeah, we should talk about it.
So we probably should talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, let's get started here. So
Okay.
preseason, do you take anything from a 2-2 preseason, or is it absolutely worthless? Throw it all out, it all starts tomorrow night.
Well, it's a good question because I don't really know. The thing with the preseason is they're 2-2. The offensive line looks horrible. The only time it looks somewhat decent is now with the offensive line they have, with Easton at left guard, Elfline, and then Berger at right guard. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can take that out of it. They never scored a touchdown in the preseason offensively, the first team offense, which sucks. But I don't know what you can't take anything out of it. I mean, I think the year that and everybody resorts back to this, anytime one of their teams has like a mediocre preseason, everybody gets all panicked. You always go, well, the Lions, the year they went 0-16, they were 4-0 in the playoffs. So you can't take anything out of it. The only thing that you can take out of preseason that you can take seriously is any kind of injury. And for the most part, they didn't suffer any massive injuries.
Very healthy.
They didn't have any quarterback go down, which they did last year, which I get wasn't in a preseason game. But the injuries didn't stack up, which so far, that's what killed this team last year. So far, so good. But you worry about the reps at the offensive line, but we'll see that tomorrow night when they go out and, as the guys like to say, they take some live bullets. So, no, I take nothing from the preseason.
All right. Speaking of that offensive line, that's obviously the biggest point of concern for fans this season. With Reif, Easton, Elfline, Berger, Remmers, this is their first time that they're going to be on the field together. Is that concerning that they didn't gel together earlier and that they had to wait till the first game of the season?
Yeah, because, all these offensive line, the Dallas offensive line that's so good, they've been together forever. But Matt Burke has told me multiple times, the year I think Baltimore won the Super Bowl with him, none of those guys that he anchored that line at center had ever played together. Now, that's not going to say this team will lead them to the Super Bowl, but the best way to learn with your teammates, you can practice all you want. You can do everything you want as a team, but once you get up and going, you have to be in there and go in the live game and all that. But so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I would be worried, but if they got that dynamite tailback and Dalvin Cook back there, like we saw with Adrian Peterson for years on this team, you can, with a great running back, you can make a bad offensive line look good, but we got to give them a chance. We got to let them go out there and try because, hey, it's as I always say, that's the gal they brought to the dance, so you might as well dance with it. That's all they got for now. They're not going to make any trades. Boone's not coming back. He sucked anyway, but he did. He was
I was going to
horrible.
ask you, what's your real take? Because
He's
I
just
got
a bad
feel
guy.
that you didn't like him.
No, and anybody who acts out like that is super boisterous, like I can be, which I'm probably painting myself into a corner. But the thing with Boone,
you and Alex Boone would be buddies.
No,
I can tell you'd be best friends.
I'd never hang out with that. Alex Boone is the biggest Todd on the planet. But his problem is you can't. If you're gonna be like that, you gotta be like a John Randall or Jared Allen had that personality. But he could back it up. Boone couldn't. The worst thing that ever happened to Boone is Teddy Bridgewater got hurt, and then they went to a different style of offense. So, yeah, Boone, horrible. I'm glad he's gone.
We wasted too much time talking about Alex Boone. Sam Bradford in the preseason led 12 drives.
Yeah.
The line and all the different variances that there were gave up 5 sacks. Is that concerning?
Well, yes and no, because the thing that they don't game plan, and that's the thing that Zimmer got killed with when he talked about the game against whoever it was, where they said, well, San Francisco, they game plan.
That was the third game, so that was the one that sort of counts.
And they looked the worst in that game, which
Agreed.
I don't know. But all I'm concerned about is tomorrow. They'll get Kyle back there to block. They got Morgan who can block. David Morgan, the tight end, can block. And they have a 3-down back in Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is what's going to make this thing go. And everybody I've talked to said he's wonderful. So we'll see.
Speaking of Dalvin Cook making his pro debut, the big storyline that everybody's trying to downplay, obviously hosting the Saints, the return of Adrian Peterson. First question, How do you think the crowd at US Bank Stadium is going to react? Minnesota fans tend to be...
Do you want my honest answer?
I want your honest answer.
You want my honest answer?
Absolutely.
They should boo the hell out of him. They should boo the hell out of him. I don't...
You can say this.
Well, you
Go
can't.
for it.
Why wouldn't you? He acts like what he did wrong isn't a big deal. It's a horrible thing. I'd boo the hell out of him.
So
I have no time for him.
You say they should boo him. Do you think they will?
No, of course they won't.
You think they'll applaud?
Most of those people only care about the football. But if they put the pictures of that poor boy up, people boo
Are you
the
going to
hell
be at the
out of
game?
him.
Are you going to boo?
Yeah, I can't. I'll be in the
press box.
Yeah, I'm classy.
Do you think?
And I don't do anything I tell other people to do. It's not as I say, but do as I do. That's not right.
No, I think you said that right.
Right, but no, boo him.
Do you think that it's been downplayed? Do you think that is that's the norm for Zimmer? All the other players say, no, this is our game.
I think
we
they
got to worry
want to
about
hit
everybody.
him. They want to hit him, but people forget he's 32 or 33 years old.
God, that's old.
But for a football player, that's ancient, and he's the backup. He's the backup running back.
Yes, but he and Mark Ingram are probably going to get equal time.
We'll see him a bunch tomorrow night, but I would boo him, and I don't think he'll do it. They'll put him in on a goal line. They'll want to get him in the end zone, but yeah, he'll be a non-factor. They'll try too hard with him, or they'll just use him as a decoy.
I was wondering, decoy Drew Brees just
they want to hit him.
We will do our prediction at the very end of the show, so I want you to hang on to that. Halftime, Randy Moss, the super freak.
Yeah.
Back in Minnesota, inducted into the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
What is your opinion of Randy Moss?
Randy Moss, I think, in my opinion, is the greatest wide receiver of all time.
Better than Jerry Rice?
Better than Jerry Rice. Because if you flipped them and you let Jerry play with the quarterbacks Randy played with and Randy played with the quarterbacks Jerry played with, it's
better
night
numbers.
and day. Randy Moss is the greatest wide receiver of all time. And there are guys that played with him that'll tell you he's the greatest athlete they've ever seen. The greatest play in NFL history is Randy catches that swing pass against Dallas on Thanksgiving. He's got 3 guys at him an angle on him, and he scores a touchdown.
And he still outruns
He's
them.
the greatest wide receiver of all time. I would take him he'd be a top 5 pick in an all NFL team draft. That's how good he is.
I have to agree. Easily
he's the best.
The best or second
Ever.
best, but he's right there.
No, he's the best.
Real quick, first ballot Hall of Fame this upcoming summer. You think it happens?
He should be. Absolutely, he should be. Yeah. Why wouldn't he be?
Well,
yeah, I don't know.
Remember, there's a lot of politics in the NFL.
He's helped his image though a lot by what he's done. Yeah, being in the media now. He's still got a little bit of diva to him, but when you got that talent, why wouldn't you be a diva?
A little bit of an ego.
I am a diva.
I was going to say,
I don't have
working
half
with
that
you,
talent.
it's so hard.
And I'm like the 35th best guy in this market on TV. So.
35th best guy. All right, it's time for us to take our first time out. Coming up, I will have an interview with the superstar Mike Morris. Meatsauce will return for the drinking game after that. We'll be back. Welcome back to Meatsauce and Monty. This is a special edition. We got the superstar Mike Morris in the house. So thank you to Mystic Lake and the Vikings alum for letting us have guests like you.
Well, yeah. I'm a big timer, you know that, right?
You are so big time, I have to ask you, do you ever look at your own Wikipedia page?
The last time I looked at the Wikipedia page, I was Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was me.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that. So somebody put Troy Aikman's Hall of Fame picture as you. Are you offended by that? Are you happy with that? Is it funny?
I think it's fine. I'll be Troy Aikman. He's a good-looking man, number one, and he's got several Super Bowl rings and a Hall of Famer. So yeah, I'll stay that way.
Has anybody ever confused you? Saw you at the airport or something? Like, oh, hey, it's Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
Or are you like?
It's been brought up several times actually that Troy Aikman is you on Wikipedia apparently, but
so it's
at least
a running gag.
I'm not Charles Manson. It could be worse.
Yeah, it could
be much worse.
We're going to rewind the tape a little bit here.
Okay.
Because this interview, we don't have to talk just about the game. We can talk about anything.
Let's do it.
Mankato. They're not going to be there anymore. Obviously, you played with the Vikings mostly through the 90s. What is your favorite memory, or what's your biggest story from Mankato?
Mankato was one of those places where, Dennis Green called that a rarefied atmosphere. Yeah. So when you go into Mankato, you're thinking, I'm going to be away from family and my comfort zone, which is my home and my bed and my pillow and my fridge and TV at night, and it's camping out. It's like camping out with all your teammates, and there was a good side to all that. I mean, there was a lot of fun in all that. Sure. Going down there and going through meetings and going through meals and waking up and taping the camaraderie. Yeah. So you did grow together, and it was because of the rarefied atmosphere. But it was just so much fun that was like going off to war. And so I would set up plastic soldiers in my room on the floor. I had hundreds of them. I'd put them in there. I'd just stack them, and I roomed with Randall McDaniel, so I'd put them on the floor and line them up and facing Randall McDaniel's bed. We had a 10 by 10 foot room, a tiny room.
Putting you two guys in there, you don't walk through the door at the same time.
So, and Tony Dungy, Coach Dungy used to come in and just look at my Army setup on the floor and say, Tony, very, very meek, mild, sort of, what's this supposed to be? And I'd say, well, I'm just playing, I'm having a war, Coach. I mean, we're fighting here. He'd say, when are you going to get to bed, do you think? I'll be in bed before 11 o'clock, Coach. I'll put all the guys away and go to bed. He'd just turn around. He'd just turn around and go, not good. I could hear him saying it all the way out the door, not good.
Not good.
Yeah,
but you were very good.
Well,
you're the superstar.
Was I?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
Absolutely.
At pranking and all the other shenanigans, I don't know if I was really all that good.
You're good enough to be with the team for a decade, so that's
a long time.
Something.
You know what? I enjoyed playing football. I did the best I could out there. You try as hard as you can just to make the team and stay aboard as a special team player. And you have to do a few things right to stick around that long, I guess. So,
regarding special teams, do you think that the role of special teams has changed in the game from the 90s when you were you 91 to 99?
With the Vikings, yeah.
Yes, well, that's right. You were with other teams prior to the Vikings.
87 to 2000, basically, in the NFL, totally. Yeah.
Majority. You're forever going to be remembered as a Viking.
I think so.
Do you think that the role of special teams has changed since the 90s to today's game?
I think the rules have changed, not the role.
Sure.
I mean, you still have a role on the team. You have to fulfill that and do the best you can and understand that is your job. Take care of it, handle it, do it right. But I think that, and the rules are ever changing. I mean, they have a rules committee that meets at the end of every season to discuss the snags and the hiccups of the game. And there's always something that comes up. I think they've actually kind of overdone it, though. I think they just kind of have made rules about rules, and now it's to the point where we don't even know what a real catch is, and that's the frustrating part. I think that if you just use common sense, a lot of the kicking rules, I mean, are there now and in place for the safety of the game. I mean, I really feel like they're trying to protect the ball handler and the guy that's returning the kick or the punt. And they just want to make sure that people aren't terribly hurt, because they are bigger, they are faster and stronger every single year, and it's gotten to the point where you got to either slow the game down somehow, or just make footballs not as returnable.
Sure. So. Shifting gears a little bit. So '92, the Vikings, or I should say Minneapolis, hosted the Super Bowl at the Dome.
Correct.
Hosting the Super Bowl this year. Do you think that the role of the Super Bowl has changed? Because I would question if it's a distraction this season, the pressure of saying, could the Vikings be the first team to play in their home stadium in the Super Bowl? I don't remember that being talked about at all in '92. Was the Super Bowl a distraction then, as much as it
really
could
was
be now?
not. I mean, you kind of took it for whatever it was worth. I mean, you prepare to go to the Super Bowl every year. Everyone does.
Everybody does, right?
And it's going to be played in one of the 32 locations, and it just happens to be your stadium, and you're playing well, then so be it. But it's never really played out that I can recall where the home team, where that Super Bowl was planned, actually made it to the Super Bowl. It hasn't happened, but it's exciting to think about with this new stadium.
So in '92, nobody was talking to you
not
saying,
really,
"Hey,
not
it could be
really.
our year."
It just was not.
Sure, it wasn't.
It was not
about.
on the radar at all. I mean, let's get there. Let's get there.
Do you think that now it is? The fact that they talk about it, or is this just something that the media is pushing out there saying, hey, we're hosting, let's really build up Super Bowl 52, and maybe the Vikings will get there?
I really think that, I think it is the media driven, and I think that's the hype that brings the fans to a frenzy, and that's what we do in the NFL. That's just the way it is. That's the league itself in a nutshell. But I really don't think that it's something that you can force the players to buy into it any more than they already are.
Sure.
Everyone wants to get there. Every single play, every snap, every single down.
So they can block that stuff out.
Well, and they have to do their job. They have to do what they're being asked to do to win every single game, and that's everyone's plan on every team. So it really is just a matter of making those plays, executing, and showing up in the Super Bowl. Only 2 teams get it, though.
Yeah. So we were talking before with Meatsauce, Randy Moss, Ring of Honor. You played with Randy.
Yes, I
Let's
did.
keep it. This part is TV safe, so keep it clean.
What would be dirty about?
Do you have any memory?
What would be dirty about Randy?
Well, I'm not. I'm more worried about you with Randy.
It was good for you to say keep it safe. Yeah, it was actually a very wise thing for you to tell me. He was a fascinating player. Day one, I told him in the elevator, you know, there were issues that we all know about, that he was passed on a few times,
Sure.
came out 19th pick overall in the draft, and everyone knew what he was going to be if he was given a chance. And I said on the elevator, he and I were on the elevator going up in Gage Hall, and I said, you know, I've been on several teams. You're kind of like Steve Largent, you're like Art Monk, you're kind of like Anthony Carter. You're all that in one. And I told him that on the elevator. I said, just don't mess this up. Don't mess it up. And he just looked at me and smiled.
Oh.
And I think it was 17 touchdowns that year. He
was
came in with a
probably
high
very
ankle
scared.
sprain too. He came in with a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
And that was the amazing thing about him, was he was still able to tear the league up the way he did. He told Joe Theismann, I'll never forget Joe Theismann sitting in the middle of our locker room interviewing him before we played the Redskins, and he said, what do you want to do in this league now that you're in? He goes, I just want to tear it up. He was going against Darrell Green that day, and he ran right past him.
Darrell Green was fast.
Darrell Green was
And Moss
lightning, yeah. So it was an amazing. We had two players by the name of Randall McDaniel and Robert Smith who would get up and race after team stretch down to the end zone. It was just their little thing to do every day.
Yeah.
They moved the offensive drills down to the end zone. It was about 70 yards, and they'd race down there to see who could make a break for it and end up there first. Well, Randy got onto the game, and they took off, and they didn't know Randy Moss had known about that, but he blew right past
blew
him.
right by.
And Robert Smith they were
Oh, yeah.
both very fast.
Absolutely.
And with his helmet, he was carrying his helmet and smiling. They had their helmet. I mean, he was running with his helmet, and he went past
Yeah.
him. So
Amazing.
He blew their doors off. Randy, a lot of stories about Randy.
We'll save some for our YouTube edition.
Let's do it.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, it does sound good.
All right.
It sounds great.
Superstar, thank you for being here. Get your beverage ready. Our drinking game is back.
Get your
You can
popcorn.
have that. You can go sit at the table. You can grab a drink too. It's all good.
That's fine. I'll do that right now.
All right.
Is Meatsauce still in there?
Absolutely. He's somewhere.
Okay, I'll
All
find
right.
it. I'll
We'll
find
be
it.
right back. Welcome back to Meatsauce Monty. And if you watched us last season, you know that the drinking game it's one of our staples. We had to bring it back, even though we've changed
yeah.
our time slot.
And you have a drinking problem.
It could be coffee.
I wasn't going to say it.
Well, you just did though.
It's not coffee. I can see it.
Well, but let's not tell
the
the
ice
people
is
at home.
melting. There's so much booze in there. Luck.
Well, don't switch it.
I
Don't
wanted
switch it.
I'd rather have it.
All right. Well, let's get to the questions. So this last week, founding member of Steely Dan, Walter Becker, passed away.
Yeah.
So you know that we always try to go with a theme, either something
course,
that's
yeah.
so Steely Dan is the theme.
Got it.
You can keep it clean, you can be funny, you can do whatever you
Okay,
want.
I
All right.
can't keep it clean, but
You,
okay.
you do what you have to do. So here's the whole point of the game. If you don't get it right, you drink. If
Yeah.
you get it right, I drink because I came up with the
You'll be
questions.
drinking a lot because I'm really good at trivia.
You're good. All right. Well, these might be tough.
Okay, I doubt it. You wrote them.
Steely Dan, the name, you know what that is, right?
Yeah, it's an adult toy.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So the question is, was Steely Dan the adult toy real or fake?
It's real. It's real.
If you went to an adult store in downtown Minneapolis,
Well,
would you be
no,
able,
but
see that's when I say this, I'm saying
First
was
off,
the
I stopped
Steely
going
Dan
in there, so
real?
let's not out me on TV. Can't go in there anymore. It used
You're
to be
an
like
appreciated
Norman
customer.
Cheers. I'd walk in and they go, meat sauce. If I want, okay, what? No, it
So-
was real. That's how they got the name.
See, I'm gonna have to say you're wrong there.
Why?
It was fake.
No.
It was.
It's not.
Yeah.
No.
It came from a novel. Just drink and be wrong, all right? A 1959 novel, Naked Lunch. It was the name
I
of
wanna
one
do that.
in the book.
Oh.
So if they've
Well,
ever produced
technically
one,
it's real.
Well, it's part
Moby
of a
Dick's
fictitious.
technically real.
It's a fictitious book.
The
There's
Berenstain
fiction,
Bears are
and then there's real.
But they're
The
just
Berenstain
not
Bears
real.
are real in your world.
Yeah,
You're getting that wrong. All right, Bard College in New York State. That's where Walter Becker and Donald Fagen had met.
Sure.
They both considered themselves jazz musicians when they met. However, they both agree that they had a rock influence.
Okay.
So this is late 60s. What band did they both agree was part of their influence?
Did you Google toughest questions of all time?
No, I found a website that was an interview that they did in, I think, 2014.
I'm going to go with the Beatles.
You're right.
Well,
See?
yeah, it's got to be the answer.
Well, that's why it
But-
wasn't that
but
hard. You're
60s
complaining about it being so
I
hard.
got to complain or I'm not doing my bit. But
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah, I'm
like,
sure I cheated.
Right. Do you want me
Sure,
to?
I have it all against you.
Do you want me to? Are you going to ask
Should
me what
I-
their social security number is?
No, not right now.
Okay.
So Chevy Chase also went to Bard.
Yeah.
He was a drummer, and he performed with them, but at the time, were they Steely Dan?
No, they weren't
Yeah.
Steely Dan at the time.
Right, too.
I just want to drink anyway.
Oh, you don't have to. You got that one right.
I'll get most of them right.
Do you want to know the name? See, I didn't ask
No,
that.
because it's probably something made up.
No, it's real. The Leather Canary was their name.
That
And so-
also could be a
But
adult toy.
This well,
Could.
well, I suppose that's clean enough.
Yeah,
That'll
depends
make
on what
it.
you're in. Yeah.
They had a bit, you know how Chevy Chase, when he was on SNL, the
Yeah.
Weekend Update, he said, "I'm Chevy Chase and you're not."
Yeah.
In the interview, they said, "We're Steely Dan and Chevy's not."
Well, and you know
See,
why
it
he
was-
did that?
they played
was
that on him.
He would say, "I'm Chevy Chase" to get his name out there. That's why he would
Oh,
say
really?
it. Yep. Yeah.
But we all remember.
Yep. Correct.
All right, next question. Which two songs did Fagen and Becker say that they were most tired of performing? I'll give you credit if you can even get one of the two.
They don't do Out of Touch. That's Hall & Oates.
That's Hall & Oates, so you...
Reelin' in the Years.
Yeah, I'll get... Can you name the other one, too?
No.
Ricky, don't lose that number.
Oh,
so that's
I
a
don't know.
half.
Okay,
That's a half.
fine. We'll each drink.
That's...
I didn't know they did that.
So the man dies, every radio station's playing it all week, and you're like, oh, I don't know these
I work
songs.
on I don't
Yeah,
listen
you-
to
you
music
listen to the radio.
I gave it up for Lent.
You're not going to get this one. Which singer
is
did...
Lent over?
Yeah, my mom is here. She'll tell you. Which singer did Fagen
there's
and
no one
Becker...
here.
There's a lot of people here.
No, you're on drugs again.
Todd's right here.
There's no Todd.
I believe in Todd.
Okay, that's weird. Believe in something else.
Which singer did Fagen and Becker work with to record their first ever paid song?
Big Bird. I don't know.
These are too tough for you?
Paul McCartney?
Barbara Streisand.
Well, how would I know that?
Well, I got to give you some hard ones. I'm sorry, but...
Hard, sure. Impossible? How would I have known that?
Because maybe you would have read the paper
not
after Walter Becker
65.
died. Well, you don't read the paper?
No. Was
Yeah,
it
it's a
mentioned
little
in
bit
the
of-
sports page?
No.
Okay, well, then I didn't read it.
All right, you've got 2 wrong,
it
you
on
got 3
Twitter?
right. You might get this one. This is more in your wheelhouse.
You weren't even listening.
No,
to me.
I'm
We're
trying to move
mid-season
on. We've got a
4.
minute left. We've got 2 questions
Stop
to
looking
get
down.
to.
There's nothing down there. You're
Right
making
there.
No, just keep going. It's just you and I.
All right, just you and me.
Okay.
What rapper sampled part of Kid Charlemagne? See,
Puff Daddy.
You probably have this
Puff
CD.
Daddy.
Or digital. It's probably
it
on
Puff
your-
Daddy?
No, it wasn't Puff Daddy.
Well, how am I going to know that?
Kanye West, champion.
Kanye West sucks.
Well, fine. Go off on Kanye West. You got it wrong. All right,
those are great. Did you get those out of the Mensa handbook?
I'm telling
Lord.
you. It was an interview. I think it was Rolling Stone just a few years ago. You probably read that all the time.
No, I don't
Yeah.
read that anymore.
Anymore.
I gave
Last
up.
question. Last
Yes.
question. Steely Dan had 3 Billboard Top 10 songs in their career.
Okay.
But the question is, did they ever have a #1 hit?
I'm going to go with no.
You're right. They did not.
That's weird. Steely
never
Dan
did.
kind of wails. I like Steely Dan.
Yeah, and all those songs that you don't know.
You
that
could
they
ask me
sing.
those same questions about Dave Matthews, and I couldn't
Oh,
tell
Dave
you.
Matthews, you'd nail it.
Well, I don't know. I didn't. We played a song of his on the radio on last Thursday, and
And you
I
didn't even know it was his?
No.
All right. So Meatsauce,
I've
you
lost
win.
my mind.
You win this.
No,
opener.
you're terrible, and those questions were hideous.
Very good job. All right, time for us to take our last break. We're going to make our predictions of the Vikings game coming up as soon as we get back.
Cheers.
Welcome back. This is the part of the show where we have to say thank you to Mystic Lake because this is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
It is so enjoyable to
Yeah.
be here with lights on.
Yeah.
And-
I didn't realize how handsome you were now that we have lights on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Look at that. No makeup this time. And we're also going to do our predictions.
Okay.
So Vikings
what?
Monday Night Football.
Okay, yeah.
Taking on the Saints. Before
Okay.
we talked about Bradford, we talked about
It's
the
like
line. We
face
talked about
off.
Nicolas Cage, Travolta.
Horrible.
You and I have
No,
remember
Nicolas Cage
somebody
sucks.
switched our faces in a photo
That's
and tweeted it. It
horrible.
was one of the
Yeah.
creepiest
Yeah,
things
well,
ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
For both of us, not
No,
just me. But,
yeah. No one's face should be swapped with mine.
Yeah, it was very
It's
awkward.
misfortunate.
So back to the prediction.
Okay.
Instead of the face-off.
Well, that's how we're standing.
Well, you don't have to. There's a table here. You can look forward. There's a camera there.
I don't know
There's a
what I'm
camera
supposed
there.
to do. I don't do TV.
You can do TV. It's easy. Just don't stand straight to, because then look at you. You're boxy. Turn a little bit this way.
You didn't need to
Turn a little
point
bit
out
this
that
way.
I was
There, see,
boxy.
look at you now. Now you look slender and svelte.
Boxy.
I can tell you've lost a lot of weight. You look great.
Boxy.
Turn sideways there. That
Anything
shirt.
else you want to make fun of me about?
Okay, we have 1 minute left.
Okay, go.
I will not make fun.
Okay.
Who wins? You can say why, or you can just say who you think wins.
I think the Saints win in a late field goal. I think the Vikings start 0-3.
I am going to pick Vikings to be opposite of you. However, if this wasn't a contest,
Sure.
I'm very nervous.
Yeah.
I think that the defense, I just don't know if they're going to be there.
Right.
I think that the Saints' offense, I'm not saying it's Adrian.
No,
I don't
but-
think it's going to be
no,
Peterson.
it'll be-
He might be
yeah.
the decoy, but I think Drew Brees is going to throw all over us.
Okay.
And I'm nervous about that.
Yeah.
But officially, for the bit,
Yeah.
I'll go Vikings because you win
the,
Saints.
I think the Saints win 28-24.
I don't have to be. You don't have to. It could be 50-0. It's just who you
Well,
think's
they're
going
not going to win 50-0.
You don't have to be that detailed.
Well, maybe you should have explained it to me yesterday, or
just
I
said
should have
who
read
wins.
the emails you and made up Todd sent.
Made
I'm
up
just making
Todd.
this up as I go.
In Todd we trust.
Yeah, no,
All
we
right,
don't.
that's going to do it for week 1 of Meatsauce and Monty. We are back, CW, every Sunday morning, 10 o'clock.
What time will that be?
10 o'clock in the
Perfect.
morning. Not at night.
Sweet.
All right, we'll see you next week.